Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm Shadow Shadnik, and today we're going to be talking about the Arc Raiders server slam test that occurred over this past weekend. Now, I was not invited to play the tech test that occurred earlier in the year. I believe that happened around April. So this weekend was the very first time I got to dive into Arc Raiders and experience the game for the very first time. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my review of what this game has to offer and what the server slam test had to offer me. And I like to start off a little bit on the negative side when I do these reviews. I don't like to go off on the end on a negative note. I like to end on a positive note. So we're going to start off on the things that I didn't like about the game initially, and then we're going to kind of rotate into some of the things that I really did like. And just to, let you guys know, I did have a lot of positive things to say about this game. I don't have that many negative things to say. So we'll start off the negatives. Right off the rip, playing this game and downloading it, I noticed after the tutorial I was not able to change my button layout. And in 2025, in a new game that's supposed to be releasing in 2 weeks, and as of recording this, the game comes out in 10 days. It was a little weird that you were not able to change your button layout. I downloaded the game initially on Epic Games, on the Epic Games Store. Once I downloaded it and played through the tutorial and was not able to change my button layout, I deleted it off of Epic Games Store, and then I went to Steam, where I was able to change my button layout. Now, changing your button layout on Steam is a little bit janky because your buttons don't match the in-game UI as you're trying to press it. For instance, if you're trying to open up the map, it might say press A, but if you change your button layout, it might not be A that opens up your map. So there were times where I was a little bit slow getting, just in the gameplay in general, whether I was trying to pull out a weapon or jump or slide or really do anything in the game. It was kind of a little bit awkward. And on controller, a lot of these extraction shooters are a little bit janky when it comes to the looting system, and this game isn't any different on that aspect. I am lucky that I am able to play on controller, but I do have my keyboard and mouse in front of me. So at times, if I needed to, when I was looting, I was able to use my keyboard and mouse to no issues there for me. But for other people, if you only on controller, I could imagine that it's very difficult to navigate your menus, especially if you did change your button layout. Now, another issue that I had with this game while I was playing it, and it took me a little bit to realize what was going on, why this was kind of janky for me, but then I thought about it and I realized what was going on, and there seems to be a lack of hit marker detection in this game. Now, I don't know if there is a setting that you can change to make hit markers appear in the game, but coming from a Call of Duty player and playing a lot of these other first-person shooter games where there are hit markers and hit detection so you can tell whether or not you're shooting something, it was kind of jarring not having it in this game. When you're playing against the AI, it's not that big of an issue because the AI, it was very visibly obvious when you were doing damage and whether you were hitting them. The AI, the robots, they take damage where you shoot them, directly where you shoot them. When you're playing against other players and you're shooting other players, it was somewhat obvious if you were hitting them because, again, blood would, shoot out of them or blood splatter would happen. So you would know that sometimes you were hitting them, but if I was shooting at an enemy and my teammate was also shooting at the same enemy, it was really hard to tell if I was the one doing damage or if my teammate was the one doing damage. That has a big effect overall in the game, in the gameplay and the gunfights, because you don't really know where you stand. And another issue with that too is that you can't really tell how much health anything has, including the AI, which with the AI it doesn't matter that much to me with the AI not knowing how much health they have, but I do think it would help a little bit when you're playing PvP against other players to know how much health they have at times when you're shooting them, because then there are just times where you're fighting, you just don't know what's really going on. Am I hitting them? Am I doing damage? Are they close to death? Do I need to, maneuver around? Do I need to run away a little bit and bait them in? It changes how you approach every gunfight, whether or not you're hitting something and how much damage it has. I think that's kind of a big L for this game. I hope they add some sort of a hit marker detection. It kind of turned me off a little bit. Another issue that I had with this game, and this is kind of a small gripe, and I think that this is something that was kind of intentional on the developers side of things, and that is the overall movement. The movement in the game is just a little bit janky, and I think it's kind of intentional because you do get skill points to level up your mobility and your movement overall. You can increase the time, for instance, how long it takes you to vault over an object, things like that. So I think that it's intentional that the movement's just kind of bad right off the rip. I did get better with the movement as I learned the game, as well as I leveled up my character, gained more stamina, things like that. But initially it was a little bit weird with the movement there. But outside of that, that's pretty much all of the negative things I have to say about Arc Raiders. We're gonna move on to the positive side of things. And right off the rip, the graphics in this game were absolutely insane. I just recently jumped into Battlefield 6, and that had some of the best graphics in a video game that I think I've ever seen. Arc Raiders is pretty much no different here. The graphics are absolutely amazing. The visual fidelity is incredible. I really like how almost every time I played the map, I mean, outside of the first 3 times I played the map, it felt like I was running into the same areas. But beyond that, every time I played the map, I felt like I was running into new areas and new viewpoints and stuff areas that I hadn't been in before. The time of day changes almost every time you load in. The weather changes pretty much every time you load in. We found a night raid, which you're seeing on camera or on in the gameplay of right now. We managed to play at night, which was really awesome and creepy. I really like the sound system in the game too. Really underrated. The sound system is incredible, not just from the guns and the overall ambience of the world, from, you know, like crickets and like random like birds and stuff like that, random noises like that, but just from like the proximity chat. The feature that they have for that is incredible, because the proximity chat, it actually comes from the character that you're playing. So if you turn on proximity chat and you're talking to your buddies or you're interacting with the enemy team, the proximity chat doesn't just hit you in the ear the second you're around an enemy like it does in Call of Duty. It actually comes from the character itself. So it's really immerses you into the game. I really like the sound system overall. And I have seen some complaints about the AI and the difficulty of the AI in Arc Raiders, especially from the Server Slam test, because I think that some of the people that play the tech test said that the AI was turned up for the Server Slam test. And for me personally, I have zero issue with the difficulty of the AI, because it really plays into the overall aesthetic of the game, the overall it immerses you into the game even more, because the whole story of the game is that humanity is essentially running from these robots, which are called arcs, and the arcs have essentially taken over the surface of this planet, and humanity is literally forced to burrow underground to survive. If that's the case when you're playing the game and you're an extraction shooter and all of the AI is just easy to kill like it is in Delta Force or DMZ from Call of Duty, the AI is so easy to kill in those games that they seem like they're a part of the map in a bad way, almost as if like it's like the floor is lava and you just have to avoid the floor and then you're good, and then you just got to worry about the other players that are on the map. I don't really like that. In Arc Raiders, you really have to decide whether or not you want to fight any of the AI that is available to you. Sometimes you don't have the ammo for it. Sometimes you need to run because they're going to create a lot of noise for you, and then other players are going to be attracted to your location. And some of the AI are really tough, not even just the smaller stuff. The leapers, they're the huge leapers. I didn't manage to take any of those down while I was playing, but they're not easy to kill as far as I know. And there's even bigger AI than them in the game. So you really have to decide whether or not you want to fight AI or just kind of run. And I think it immerses you into the game even more, and it makes it that much more tense. And I think that if you're having any trouble getting out, and you know you're fighting the AI and you're dying a lot, or you're finding players, you just got to sneak around more. You just got to adjust your play style and sneak around a little bit more. And I think you'll have a lot more of a better time within Arc Raiders. Now, I had to pre-order this game. It sold me. I really liked everything about the game outside of the controls that I had issues with. If they change those, you're going to be seeing a lot of Arc Raiders gameplay, not only as for long form YouTube videos, but definitely I'm going to be streaming this game. And I just want to know what you guys think about Arc Raiders. Did you guys like the Server Slam test if you were able to download it? Did you guys have any issue with the button layout? Any issues whatsoever at all? How was the optimization for you guys? For me personally, I had no issues with the optimization. As you can see, my frames were really smooth. The gameplay looks amazing. I had zero issues downloading the game. I downloaded it on both Epic and Steam, had no issues there. But I want to know what happened for you guys. I am really into this game. You're going to be seeing a lot of it, like I said, on the channel. I'm super excited. I'm going to try and get as many of my friends playing it as I can. And I wanted to thank you guys for watching and subscribing. I appreciate everyone for supporting the channel. I am so impressed with your support, not even just what I'm doing. I'm so impressed with the support that you guys have been giving me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep putting out YouTube videos weekly. We're going to keep the streams going pretty much every day. If you're not following me on Twitch, it's a good time to follow me now. But other than that, I am out. Peace.